Hi everyone, and I'm back with an all new update of music pickups, and this is a mix of metal, grunge, rock, and a little bit of Prince, and got some MP3s also, and a couple DVDs and a Blu-ray here to show. First up are the CDs. And these are pickups from May through most of the summer through this past month. Soundgarden's Telephantasm 2 CD with a DVD of their music videos and alternate music videos also, and this is a compilation of some of their earlier Sub Pop stuff, and it's got some live stuff also, and some of their songs that weren't radio hits. Motley Crue's Saints of Los Angeles. This was the band's last studio album. Apparently they're retiring, but you never know with Motley. Checked out The Dirt on Netflix, and I'm hoping it comes out on Blu-ray soon. Jimi Hendrix live at Woodstock. I'm a big Jimi Hendrix fan, and I got this for $5 over at Walmart's. Another pickup I got over at Walmart's back in June. Led Zeppelin's The Song Remains the Same, and this is the expanded edition CD of their concert film, and it features the song Black Dog that was in the movie, and a couple other songs that were not featured in the movie and not in the original soundtrack, in the original version. Rolling Stones, Rock and Roll Circus, and this is the expanded edition of their concert film, and it's got performances from the Stones and Jethro Tull and the Dirty Mac, which was a side band which had John Lennon, Keith Richards, Eric Clapton, and Mitch Mitchell of the Jimi Hendrix Experience. And this is a pretty good CD. Some pickups I got from Haskins House over in town, which is a antique store which sells used CDs and vinyl and other things. Peter Criss Kiss solo. Ace Frehley Loaded Deck, which is a compilation of his stuff with Frehley's Comet and some live songs. Prince and the New Power Generation. I'm just going to call this the Symbol album because it's hard to tell what to call this album, and I've been getting into his later stuff very slowly. I mean, when he changed his name to some symbol, I just could not get into it. Latest one from Slipknot, We Are Not Your Kind, and this is an excellent return from the band, and they've got some new members and new masks and all that, and it's what you expect from Slipknot. Now here's some MP3s, and these are a couple of downloads I got from Google Play in May. Dark Angels, Leave Scars from '89, and this band was known for having Gene Hoglan as the drummer, and who went on to other things like Strapping Young Lad and Testament and Death, and it has a insane souped up cover of Led Zeppelin's Immigrant Song, and it's just classic thrash, and added Forbidden's Raw Evil Live at the Dynamo, which is a EP from their performance at this festival, and it's basically songs from their first album, and it has a cover of Judas Priest's Victim of Changes, and this is the band that featured Paul Bostaff, who would later go on to Slayer. Prince Originals, I got this off of Google Play, really cheap, and this is versions of his songs that he wrote for other artists that he performs on. I mean, he does a really good job of the Sheila E. songs, which I never knew that he wrote for. I mean, and also he also wrote Jungle Love, which he performs, and Manic Monday's pretty good also, and it has Nothing Compares to You. This is an MP3 which I had on CD, and this is Possessed's Revelations of Oblivion, which I got off of Google Play, and this is their return CD. And this band was known for coming out in the 80s, and I think they're like one of the earlier like influence on the black metal bands. And this band was known for having a future member of the band, Primus, and it's just classic thrash death metal. And Wrathchild America's 3D, which was their second CD from '91, which I got as an MP3 off of Amazon. Made the mistake of thinking I would get a used copy of this off of Amazon a few years ago, but it turned out to be a 3 CD sampler. Anyway, this has elements of thrash in it, and this band was also known for having Shannon Larkin, I mean, who went on to other things. I mean, he drummed for Ugly Kid Joe and Amen, and I think he's still drumming for Godsmack. And this band just disappeared in the early 90s. They later became Souls at Zero, which had one album. Now to the music DVDs, and got a couple Stones DVDs from Deep Discount in May, and Rolling Stones, Rock and Roll, Crossfire Hurricane, and this is a very good documentary. It just covers their career from the 60s through the start of the 80s, so it's not very lengthy, and it's still a pretty good documentary. And this is Rolling Stones from the Vault, which is a series of concerts they did, and this is Hyde Park Live 1969. And this is the Blu-ray of the Rolling Stones Rock and Roll Circus, and this is pretty good. I mean, it's got a performance from Jethro Tull featuring Tony Iommi playing guitar, which I'm sure a lot of people didn't know he was in Jethro Tull for a short time. I could have done without Yoko Ono's performance with John Lennon's side group. I mean, how dreadful. All in all, a pretty good compilation.